Must own, no notes. Returnal is the game that made me finally understand what the PS5 is capable of. Not just graphically, though it's gorgeous, but in terms of how a game can feel. This is the DualSense showcase. Every raindrop, every gunshot, every alien horror crawling toward you comes through your hand. It's genuinely unnerving how immersive it is. Now, fair warning, this game is hard. Like, really hard, man. It's a roguelite, which means when you die, you start over. And you will die, a lot. But here's the magic. It never feels unfair. Every death teaches you something. Every run makes you a little better. And when things finally click, when you finally beat that boss that's been destroying you for hours, there's nothing like it. The atmosphere is incredible too. You're an astronaut named Celine, trapped on this hostile alien planet, dying and resurrecting in an endless loop. The story unfolds in these cryptic, unsettling fragments. It's sci-fi horror done right. More questions than answers. More dread than jump scares. Housemarque added a free co-op mode post-launch, so you can bring a friend into the nightmare with you. And the Tower of Sisyphus is this endless mode that gives you infinite reasons to keep coming back. This was the first true PS5 exclusive that felt next-gen. Not a cross-gen game held back by old hardware. A genuine leap forward. If you want something challenging, atmospheric, and unlike anything else on the console, Returnal is waiting, and it will humble you. Alright. You want bang for your buck? Horizon Forbidden West is 50 to 100 hours of pure content, and almost all of it is quality. We're talking robot dinosaurs in one of the most beautiful open worlds ever created. That's not hyperbole. There are moments in this game where I just stopped and stared at the scenery. Aloy's journey takes her west into these incredible new biomes. Jungles, deserts, underwater sections, ruined cities, reclaimed by nature. Every area feels distinct and worth exploring. And the machine designs? Somehow even crazier than the first game. There's a robot snake that swims through sand like water, a giant metal mammoth that can freeze you solid. The creativity on display is wild. Combat has been completely overhauled too. More weapons, more tools, more ways to approach each encounter. You can play stealthy, go in aggressive, or set up elaborate traps and watch machines walk right into them. It's tactical, but not overwhelming. The complete edition includes Burning Shores, which is this DLC set in post-apocalyptic Los Angeles, and it's genuinely one of the best expansions I've ever played. It wraps up story threads beautifully and has a final mission that had my jaw on the floor. If you missed Horizon Zero Dawn, don't worry, there's a solid recap. But honestly, this is the kind of game that makes you want to go back and experience everything. Guerrilla Games built something special here, and it deserves your time. I need to be honest with you. Elden Ring broke my brain in the best possible way. I thought I knew what open world games were. I thought I understood exploration. Then From Software teamed up with George R.R. Martin and created something that made me feel like a complete beginner again. Here's what gets me about this game. There are no markers, no quest logs telling you where to go. No hand-holding whatsoever. You just wander, and somehow that wandering leads you to the most incredible discoveries. A hidden cave behind a waterfall, a massive underground city you had no idea existed, a boss that absolutely destroys you, but you can just leave and come back later. The freedom is intoxicating. 96 on Metacritic, by the way. That's not an accident. That's thousands of reviewers collectively agreeing that this thing is a masterpiece. Now yes, it's hard. It's From Software. Of course it's hard, but unlike their previous games, Elden Ring gives you options. Stuck on a boss, go explore somewhere else, level up, find better gear, come back stronger. The open world isn't just window dressing, it's a genuine solution to the difficulty problem that kept people away from Dark Souls. You're looking at 100 to 200 hours here, and that's before the DLC, which is basically another full game. The build variety is insane. Sorcerer, Samurai, Faith Paladin, Bonk Stick Strength build, whatever you want. Every playthrough feels different. This is one of those once-in-a-generation games, the kind people will still be talking about in 20 years. If you haven't experienced it yet, I genuinely envy you. That first playthrough is something you never forget. Okay, real talk. I didn't think I was a CRPG person. Isometric camera, walls of text, dice rolls everywhere. Sounds like homework. Then Baldur's Gate 3 came along and made me put 400 hours into a single save file. I don't even recognize myself anymore. This game has a 96 on Metacritic. That ties it for the highest rated PS5 game ever. And when you play it, you understand why immediately. The level of freedom here is absolutely stupid. Every problem has like 15 solutions. You can talk your way out, fight your way out, sneak around, use magic in creative ways, or just throw a random object at someone and see what happens. The game accounts for everything. The companions are some of the best written characters in RPG history, full stop. You will develop genuine emotional attachments to these fictional people. You will make decisions based on what they would want. You might even romance one of them and feel actual butterflies. I'm not joking. Larian Studios somehow made pixels and voice acting feel real. Combat is turn-based, but never boring. The environmental interactions alone could carry the game. Set the ground on fire, freeze the fire, shatter the ice, electrify the water, push enemies off cliffs. The systems layer on top of each other in endlessly entertaining ways. And the story? 100 to 200 hours of branching narrative where your choices genuinely matter. Not fake choices matter like other games promise. Actual, significant consequences that change entire quest lines. This is the new gold standard for RPGs. Nothing else comes close right now. Nothing. Let me set the scene. You loved the Final Fantasy VII Remake. Cloud, Tifa, Aerith, Barrett, the whole gang, back in gorgeous modern graphics. Great game, emotional, beautiful, and then Rebirth comes along and says, that was the appetizer. This game is massive. We're talking 60 to 100 hours of content, and it never feels bloated. The original remake was confined to Midgar, one city. Rebirth blows the doors open into this sprawling world full of regions to explore, side quests to complete, and secrets to uncover. The Gold Saucer alone could be its own game. This legendary amusement park from the original is back, and it's packed with mini-games, attractions, and a genuinely emotional date sequence that changes based on your relationships throughout the game. I spent an embarrassing amount of time just playing arcade games in there. Combat takes everything great about Remake and refines it further. The synergy attacks between party members are flashy, satisfying, and strategically deep. Swapping between characters mid-fight feels seamless, and the boss encounters, some of the most spectacular in the entire franchise. Now, I won't spoil the story, but if you know the original Final Fantasy VII, if you know what's coming. Rebirth plays with your expectations in ways that are genuinely surprising. It's not just a remake anymore, it's something new. Something that respects the original while forging its own path. This is a love letter to one of gaming's most beloved stories, wrapped in modern gameplay that feels incredible. If you have any nostalgia for Final Fantasy, or even if you don't, this is essential. So the Persona team, the people who made Persona 5, one of the most stylish games ever created, decided to make a fantasy RPG, and somehow, impossibly, they outdid themselves. Metaphor ReFantazio is their magnum opus, and I don't say that lightly. First thing you notice is the aesthetic. This game looks like a moving painting. Every menu, every transition, every battle animation oozes style in a way that only Atlas can deliver. It's visually aggressive in the best possible way. Bold colors, striking designs, imagery that burns into your brain. The setting is this dark fantasy world, dealing with themes of prejudice, identity, and what it means to be human. Heavy stuff, handled with surprising nuance. You're on a quest to become king, but it's really about challenging societal fears and changing hearts along the way. Very Persona, but in a completely new context. Combat uses this archetype system that's basically jobs on steroids. You can mix and match abilities from different classes to create your perfect build. The depth here is staggering, 80 to 100 hours in, and I was still discovering new combinations. GameSpot gave this their Game of the Year for 2024. And honestly, I get it. It's one of those rare games where the story, combat, art direction, and music all fire on every cylinder simultaneously. There's no weak link. Everything is excellent. If you've ever enjoyed a JRPG, this is mandatory. If you haven't, this might be the one that converts you. The Persona team doesn't miss. Can we just appreciate that Capcom has been absolutely killing it with these remakes? Resident Evil 2, Resident Evil 3, and now 4. Each one proving that you can modernize a classic without losing what made it special. The original RE4 basically invented the over-the-shoulder shooter. It was revolutionary in 2005, and this remake takes that foundation and builds a masterpiece on top of it. Every environment is reimagined with gorgeous, moody detail. The village feels alive and terrifying. The castle is gothic horror perfection, and the island, pure action horror mayhem. Leon Kennedy has never looked better or played better. The gunplay is tight, responsive, and incredibly satisfying. And the new parry system with the knife, game changer. You can deflect chainsaws if your timing is good enough. Chainsaws. It adds this incredible layer of skill expression to combat that the original never had. Now here's the thing about the DualSense implementation. It might be the best on PS5. Every weapon feels distinct in your hand. The tension in the triggers, the rumble of a chainsaw getting closer, the subtle feedback when you're low on ammo. It all adds to the horror in ways you don't even consciously notice. They also added free PSVR 2 support, which is genuinely terrifying. Looking a Ganado in the face as it rushes you in virtual reality is not for the faint of heart. Multiple difficulty modes, unlockable weapons, new game plus. There's so much replay value here. This isn't just a great remake. This is one of the best survival horror games ever made, period. You ever just want to log on, not think too hard, and blow stuff up with your friends while screaming about democracy? Because that's Helldivers 2 in a nutshell. And it's absolutely glorious. This game came out of nowhere and became a genuine phenomenon. The premise is simple. You're an elite soldier dropping onto hostile planets to fight bugs and robots in the name of Super Earth. It's satirical, it's over the top, and it knows exactly what it is. The propaganda is hilariously dystopian, and you're just along for the ride, spreading managed democracy one airstrike at a time. But here's what makes it special: the chaos. Everything can go wrong at any moment. Your teammate accidentally calls an airstrike on your position. Someone reloads and drops their remaining ammo. A giant bug bursts from underground and everyone's scattered. It's controlled mayhem, and the stories you create are better than anything scripted. The live service model here is genuinely fair too. Battle passes don't expire. You earn premium currency just by playing. New content drops constantly. New enemies, new planets, new stratagems to unlock. Arrowhead Studios actually listens to their community and adjusts the game based on feedback. Wild concept, I know, and it's just $20. $20 for unlimited hours of co-op insanity with your friends. The value proposition is absurd. Whether you're doing tactical extractions or accidentally team killing everyone with a poorly placed orbital laser, Helldivers 2 delivers pure, unfiltered fun. Grab some friends, suit up, and remember, democracy doesn't spread itself. Alright, let's address this directly. If you grew up with Harry Potter, if you ever dreamed about getting that Hogwarts letter, this game is going to hit you somewhere deep. Hogwarts Legacy isn't just a good Harry Potter game. It's the Harry Potter game we've been waiting decades for. Walking into the Great Hall for the first time genuinely gave me chills. The attention to detail is unreal. Every corridor, every moving staircase, every secret passage feels like it was pulled directly from your imagination. You can explore the castle for hours and keep finding new things. The Room of Requirement becomes your personal hideout. The Forbidden Forest is actually terrifying at night. Hogsmeade is cozy and full of shops to discover. Character creation lets you build your perfect witch or wizard, and the story takes place in the 1800s, way before Harry's time, so everything feels fresh. You're not retreading familiar ground. You're making your own legacy. The spell system is surprisingly deep too. Combat has you weaving together dozens of spells in flashy combinations. 1 second you're levitating an enemy, the next you're slamming them into their friends, then finishing with a massive explosive curse. It flows beautifully once it clicks. And yes, you can care for magical creatures in your own personal vivarium. Baby hippogriffs, thestrals, mooncalves. It's adorable, and I'm not ashamed to admit I spent way too much time petting everything. 40 to 100 hours of pure wizarding world immersion. If that 11-year-old inside you still believes in magic, this is your game. I know what you're thinking. This game came out in 2015. Why is it on a PS5 list? Because the complete edition with PS5 upgrades transforms it into something that holds up against anything releasing today. And also because it's one of the greatest RPGs ever made, and more people need to experience it. Geralt of Rivia's final adventure is 150 to 200 hours of pure, uncut storytelling excellence. The main quest alone would be impressive, but the side content here puts entire other games to shame. Random quests you pick up in villages have more narrative depth than most main storylines in other RPGs. That's not an exaggeration. The Bloody Baron questline is still, to this day, one of the best written sequences in gaming history. And that's just one thread in this impossibly dense tapestry. Hearts of Stone will break you emotionally. Blood and Wine is basically an entire second game set in a gorgeous new region. Both expansions are included here. Combat got refined for the PS5 version, graphics got a massive overhaul with ray tracing and improved textures, and the DualSense features add satisfying feedback to everything. It looks and plays better than ever. What really sells The Witcher 3, though, is choice. Your decisions ripple across the entire game in ways you don't see coming. Characters remember. Consequences find you hours later. The world feels alive and responsive to who you choose to be. If you somehow missed this masterpiece, there has never been a better time. And if you played it before, honestly, it's worth a replay. Some games age poorly. This one aged like fine Toussaint wine. So there you have it. 18 games that won't let you down. Now I want to hear from you. What's your favorite PS5 game? Did I miss something that deserves a spot? Drop it in the comments. I read every single one. And if this helped you find your next obsession, a like and subscribe would mean everything. All right, go play something amazing. I'll see you in the next one.